Sports with Josh Moser.
Hi, everybody. And the biggest news in Bronco land this week is that Tim Tebow is now the starting quarterback. The Broncos with a bye today in Week 6, but trade rumors are stacking up mile high at Sports Authority. Reports from multiple sources indicate that the Broncos are trying to deal receivers Brandon Lloyd and now today Eddie Royal. Lloyd with possibly the catch of the year in a last week's loss to the Chargers. He was the NFL's leading receiver last season with close to 1,500 total yards. However, with the emergence of young receiver Eric Decker and the return of Demaryius Thomas, the front office feels that they can bolster much-needed depth in other positions, which in their eyes would give them a better shot at winning. To remind you, the Broncos sitting at 1-4 at the bottom of the division, but they've also had the toughest schedule, playing both the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Green Bay Packers, and again, last week, the loss to division-leading San Diego Chargers. So with Tim Tebow starting under center, the organization hoping to turn things around. Denver drawing winless Miami next week, which could have large implications on the Andrew Luck sweepstakes. Then the Broncos will get Detroit at home. The Lions off to their best start in more than a decade. And as you see, 3 of the next 4 on the road. So since we just mentioned the Lions, let's check in on the undefeated Detroit, taking on Jim Harbaugh and the Niners in the game of the day. We start in the first, Detroit up 3-0. They add to it here. Matthew Stafford threading the needle to Brandon Pettigrew. Great catch in double coverage. Initially ruled incomplete, but it would be overturned for a touchdown. Fast forward to the fourth, San Fran back on top, 15-13. But Stafford hooking up with Nate Burleson for the 6-yard score. Detroit now in control. So back and forth we go until it's Alex Smith's turn. He finds Delanie Walker over the middle for the go-ahead score with just under 2 minutes left. So here we go. Last chance for Detroit, trying to stay undefeated and 6-0. The lateral is bobbled. No penalty on the play. San Fran would take over on downs, but then things get very interesting. Jim Harbaugh fired up about the win. A very disrespectful embrace with Jim Schwartz. The Lions head coach lets him know it. Chases Harbaugh down. The two would get into it. Nevertheless, Niners win 25-19.
I was just really revved up, and that's totally on me. I shook his hand too hard. I mean, I really went in, and it was a strong, kind of a slap, grab, handshake. It was like kind of like same as I'd been doing with Costanzo and a few of the other guys. So that was on me. A little too hard of a handshake there.
Went to congratulate Coach Harbaugh and got shoved out of the way, and then didn't expect an obscenity at that point. So it was a surprise to me at the end of the game.
And now on to Oakland, the only AFC West team in action today. John Madden lighting a flame honoring the passing of legendary Raiders owner Al Davis. And we're going to start in the first and run DMC. Darren McFadden from 4 yards out. Raiders up 7-0 early. And the Browns would notch things up at 7-7 in the opening minutes of the second. Ensuing kickoff, and it's Jacoby Ford time. Takes it from just inside the end zone. Great blocking gets him to the outside, and watch him somehow stay in bounds. The former Clemson track star makes it 14-7, black and silver. And then in the third, the Raiders with the fake field goal. Kevin Boss wide open on the rollout, takes it in from 35 yards away. The Browns would mount a comeback late, but unable to finish it off. Oakland winning for the Boss upstairs, 24-17, the final. And let's bring it back now to the Western Slope and talk Colorado Mesa. The men's soccer team with an impressive performance last week against the #1 team in the country, Fort Lewis. And today, another tough contest, this time on the road against CSU Pueblo. And it's the Mavs victorious 1-0 in an overtime win. It's the former Grand Junction standout, Tim Hoffer, with the lone goal. Mavs have one more game on the road next week against UC Colorado Springs before they return home to Walker Field to close out the regular season. And tonight, an elimination game on the Diamond in Milwaukee. The Rangers punching their ticket to the World Series for the second straight season in a win last night over the Tigers. But tonight, St. Louis with the same chance on the National League side. The Cardinals trying to best the Brewers for the pennant, but Milwaukee bringing out their secret weapon. Sully from Monsters Inc. throwing out the first pitch, and he's got Prince Fielder fired up. But trouble right off the bat for Milwaukee. David Freese with a 3-run bomb in the bottom of the first. Sean Markham would only last one frame. And the Brewers just never able to recover. This is the final out. Jason Motti getting Mark Kotze swinging. Birds win 12-6 and are back in the Fall Classic for the first time since '06, winning their 18th pennant in franchise history. And finally, some action from the track. This is the Las Vegas 300 in the Indy Championship Series. This is possibly the scariest thing we've seen all year. Lap 12, 3 cars going airborne. We'll take you on board, Will Power and lap car. And here it is. God, this is so scary, but the bad news, Dan Weldon passing away due to injuries sustained in the crash. So that's your look at